So we are starting with dive in. Wonderful exercise for some slow swimming strokes. So what's great here is whether you've swum or not, you're using your imagination, you're just copying. You've seen people swim before. So I'm talking to somebody today who maybe can't swim. So it's all about floating and moving the body through the water. So good, you don't have to get changed into costumes if you're a little self-conscious about how you look. Heck, you wouldn't get me in a bikini for any amount of money, I'll tell you that for nothing. Certain things when you get to a certain age you won't do. So what we're doing is we're pushing the hands forward together, we're opening them up and separating them and letting that thumb go down. Lovely. Using all of the upper body strength. We're turning to a crawl stroke, so our hand is going side to side. I think they're swimming quicker now. Let's see if we can make these strokes come over our shoulders a little quicker. We've got to get into action quite fast today. All right, sit back in your chair, lift up your legs and just splash them. So this is imagining we're now doing some backstroke. So we're on our back, we're going to allow our hands go back. We're going to look up as we go. Keep these feet paddling. That's good. Just look up while you're doing it. Very good. Now, just to make us work a little bit on that core, we're going to bring the legs back. We're going to try and keep them up off the floor. It's like you're treading water. So your body's being held buoyant in the water and you're just off the bottom. If you're a bit cautious that it's too deep, it's like, oh, bottom's right there. But come on, we're working on these tummies at the same time. And how about breaststroke legs as well? So we're just sliding the legs open and the hands at the same time. So that's now breaststroke, arms and legs. So how about trying to do a little bit of side stroke? Now this is quite testing because you actually have to stop in the middle. So I want your legs up, heading that way. Body is just leaning a little bit that way, coming back to center. Leaning out, come back to center. Back to the center. One last one this side. Woo! Now we've got to do everything on both sides. So legs are going that way, arms this way. If you come back to center, helps you find your balance at the same time. Good control for the tummy and the legs. It's not easy for me either. It's supposed to be stretching us just a little. So there we are, dive in, our first exercise. Now the next one, really good for our brain, we've got to be counting. So we're going to start with counting 2 or backwards from 8. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Clap on 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Clap on the 4. 1, 2, 3. Clap 4. So this is all about changing different patterns. It's about our body's ability to respond, react, recover, because I'm going to make us go different directions. So we're going to start now with just tapping 3 on our knees and 1 on our shoulders. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple patterns of counting. 2, 3, 4. Change it now with the shoulders and a 1, 2, 3, 4 is on the knee. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. How about going different sides? Where am I going next? 2, 3, 4. It's okay to be counting it at home as well. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mixing up all those different patterns, it's about our ability, respond, react, and recover. So, let's get these little legs marching. This now is our exercise. It's great for our hip flexors. It's called rockin' rockettes. So we're just going to get these legs moving with a little out, step, and a back. Out and back. Quite fast. We can use the hand just to direct it, and a little tap as well. More body parts we're moving. More we're getting these hearts moving. And let's change legs. Other side. Out, in, out, in. You just move within your range. I've had a hip replacement, so I know that it can hurt to move your hip. So you just move what's comfortable for you. We're going to move it forward to tap that heel and back. Same leg. Heel. Call it the teal. I don't think that's right. Just checking who's awake over here. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Use the hand as well. Let's change. Heel, toe. That's good. Okay, keeping up, I hope. How about now alternating? One side and then the other. Always good for right-left brain to make sure we're keeping alert. And we're just going to tap it out in front. So keep one leg nice and close to the body so you can get the other leg in front of it with a little fan movement, and the other side. Keep going. Music hasn't finished. Got to balance the body. Almost there. Ah, there we are. That's our third exercise. Okay, fourth one is going to be called get up, get down, get down, get up. So we just start with our hands here, up, hands here, reaching forward. We're not going all the way down to the floor. So this is just nice stretching up. Tap your legs, stretch them up. Reach down, just a little. Up. And when you go up, look up. Up. Knees go down, look down. Look up. Look down. Woo. This one definitely gets you going. Almost at the end of our 10 minutes. Having fun? I hope. I am. If you are, we're all doing it right. Okay, last one. So keep these legs together. Tap on your knees and we're going 2 under. 1, 2. Tap knees for 2. You're reaching forward. 1, 2. So this is all about exercising that very vital organ, the heart. Just because we're working it a little harder by going up and down over our heart line, makes our body pump blood a little harder. Tap 2. Knees 2. Okay, we're tapping the knees for 2. 2 on one side. 1, 2. Knees for 2. 2 on the other. 1, 2. Knees for 2. 2 down. 1, 2. To the other side. And 1, 2. Very good. How about we do some up and down to finish up with? So we're going to do tap, knees, up, tap, down, knees, up, knees, down, knees, woo, down, and up. Woo! If it's going too fast, nice to know you can stop. Phew! There we are. 10 minutes of Ageless Grace. It goes so fast, but it is so good for you. We got all the body parts, joints and moving. We've used our brain, we've counted, we've responded, and I hope that you've had as much fun as I have. So, allowed to get off the couch now, allowed to get that glass of water, and see you back in a few minutes for the second half. And welcome back to Active and Healthy with Gina. I hope you did your 10 minutes of exercise to get our show started today. You've loosened up all those joints, got the brain stimulated, had a little break, maybe grabbed a glass of water, and you're ready now to listen to our interview of the week. I'm delighted this week to welcome the founder and the MD of Geratec, Mr. Rayne Stroebel. So welcome to the show. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Gina. Wonderful to be here.
It's always nice for the viewers to get a little sense about background of the person that I'm talking to, and I was interested to read your start, which is really kind of relevant to what you now do. So can you tell us where you came from, where your early years were spent?
Yes. I always say that my only claim to fame is that I grew up in an old age home.
Unusual.
Yes, so if you want to know where I got my knock in life, it's being a child in an old age home. I always joke, every morning I went to school I had to see who's waiting for me in the passage for a kiss and a hug, and by second break I was still smelling of 4 7-Eleven. So, but yeah, it somehow, I think, planted the seed.
How many years was that? I mean, from what ages are we talking about?
It was 12 years altogether. That my mother was the matron of the care home, and I was then in hostel, but all my weekends were spent there. My dad gave it one look and moved out to the little seaside village, just about 30 kilometers from Heidelberg, Wittsand. So we commuted between the care home and spending quality time together. But yeah, about 12 years, care home.
You must have been something of a novelty for the residents, because I'm quite sure they weren't used to having small children. Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister, yeah, she's 3 years older. And that's the magic thing, where now my work is around transformation of care homes. And one of the things that we miss most in care homes is that intergenerational connection. So it is about bringing children and animals and plants back into what we call a human habitat, to make it less institutional. So yes, it was an interesting way of seeing a different angle on the old institutional old age home.
But did you ever think that would then be an area that you would go and work in later on in your own life?
Never. I mean, literally the day my mother retired, I said, please, I don't ever want to set foot near any old person again. And lo and behold, 21 years ago, I realized I have a business, Geratec, and Geratec is an acronym for gerontological research, training, education and caring. And yes, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would spend my life in aged care. But yes, I had a good foundation, good training.
It's an unusual beginning. There are not many people, I think, who can say that's where they grew up as a child in an old age home. So tell us a little bit, please, about Geratec. You've given us the highlights there of what it stands for, and what the mission is and what you're now doing.
As I say, I started the company 21 years ago, primarily as an outsourced catering company, but very, very quickly realized the importance of nutrition in the aging process. So we had a very specific focus of bringing dietitians in and looking at the nutritional status of older people in long-term care. In 1997, the University of Stellenbosch did a research study where they looked at the interaction between nutritional status and independence in activities of daily living. Now that's very interesting. The study was done by Professor Labadarios, and they looked at, they used Nestle's mini nutritional assessment, which is a wonderful assessment tool. It's free and gratis on the internet. There's also a self-assessment that people can do. But they looked at when nutritional status is compromised, what does it do to independence in the activities of daily living. I think Yolandi spoke about that. The activities of daily living are the ability to dress yourself, eat by yourself, go to the bathroom by yourself, walk and use the shower or bath.
Yeah.
And it is found that the minute nutritional status is compromised, independence in activities of daily living is compromised. So the two go hand in hand. And that started off a whole new dimension in our company, where we really make it our business to see that our elders have optimal nutritional status. So it's not only about the food that they eat, it's about the medication that they take, it's about their ability to eat. Sometimes, as they get older, they might have problems with their dentures or swallowing or saliva, the interaction between medication and nutrients and all those things. So we became a specialist service provider to really focus.
Starting with catering to begin with.
Yes.
Specifically for their nutritional needs.
Yeah, and now it's expanded. We do caring and nursing and management and consulting and all sorts of things. Yeah.
So it's grown to cover many, many different areas.
Yes, absolutely.
Now that assessment you were talking about, is it something anybody can get hold of and
absolutely
good for a family to be able to look at, maybe with their own older generation, to make sure that they're taking care of them correctly?
Absolutely. It's a screening tool. It's available, as I say, on the internet. It's called the Mini Nutritional Assessment. It's designed by Nestle. And it gives a very clear indication of the risk of malnutrition. Now, older people are at a high risk of malnutrition for all the reasons I mentioned. And of course, the minute nutritional status is compromised, as I said, independence, strength is compromised, muscle loss, infection, the slightest flu that comes around, you'll get it if your nutritional status is compromised.
If you're not strong, you're far more susceptible to picking up all sorts of things.
Absolutely. Longer hospital stays, return to hospital, wound healing is compromised radically. So nutritional status is that the number one thing, because it will affect so many other areas of your life. And ultimately, we see that so many elders think that weight loss is normal. I'm old now, weight loss is normal.
Yeah.
Weight loss amongst people over the age of 65 is an absolute red flag, because older people tend to not lose fat, but lose muscle mass. And of course, thanks to your 10 minutes, that really is the most important thing, is to maintain muscle strength.
Yes.
Because the minute you start losing muscle strength, you have a much higher risk of falling. And of course, again, falling is the number one reason why older people lose their independence.
Yes.
The reason why people become institutionalized is as a result of falls across the globe. Now, falling is not a normal part of aging. We all fall. But if we don't take care of ourselves in terms of nutritional status, muscle strength, balance, we will find that people are at much higher risk. And falling is one thing, but the fear of falling then creeps in. And that is often more debilitating than the falling itself.
That's right, and then they think they can only get out if they have a walker or if they have a stick or somebody with them. And they then, as you say, withdraw and don't get out the way that they should. And it's something I stress so much within the exercises. And having taught for 2 years, it's something I'm really seeing in the people who consistently come to classes,
yes,
that their balance is better, that they're walking better. And it's a joy to see, to realize you can change it round, even when you're in your 80s.
And 90s.
And 90s.
It's never
absolutely.
too late. It's never too late. It's fascinating also that when people start developing this fear of falling, as you say, they'll say, well, I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go to mosque or to church or to the library or, to these interactions. So they withdraw. And then, of course, they start getting more and more lonely,
yeah,
which results in them getting more and more depressed, which means they would do even less. Their eating habits would deteriorate more and more. So now, instead of actually going shopping or interacting, socializing with the family, they would start eating coffee and a rusk for breakfast. So it's a vicious circle, and the one tends to exacerbate the other.
I'm sure it does.
So, nutritional status and independence in activities of daily living, keeping up your muscle strength. Of course, the other thing is that our bowel and our bladder, our whole peristaltic movement is controlled by muscle.
Yes.
So muscle losses not only increases the risk of falling, but it also increases the risk of incontinence. And a lot of older people live with chronic incontinence. Of course, they're too embarrassed to tell anyone about it. If you look at the research, doctors don't ask about it. And again, something that should be transient becomes a chronic disease. And again, it's an incredibly debilitating disease, because now even more so they don't want to go out in public because they're ashamed of wearing incontinence wear and so.
And or else they might be worried that they've got to find a bathroom, and can they move quick enough to one, and
Absolutely.
It's all of those type of things as well.
Yeah.
That's another kind of benefit I've seen from people in the classes have actually commented that, my classes can be 30 or 45 minutes long, that they feel that their digestive system is improved because you're working your whole core, you're stimulating your digestive system, which is obviously also good for you. But you're quite right, that's pretty critical about the nutrients that have got to go in first.
Yes, but also, the muscles need nutrients.
Yes.
So, the two go absolutely hand in hand. The other thing is with our, bowels and bladder is, of course, oxygen, cellular adrenaline, it needs to be stimulated. And again, the more sedentary the lifestyle becomes, the more the whole metabolism will just slow down.
Yes.
So exercising is absolutely essential to keep the whole peristaltic digestive system going.
Right.
But more than that, the number one reason why most older people become incontinent is because of muscle loss.
Right.
And of course, exercise, especially pelvic floor exercises,
Yes.
is the number one, I don't want to use the word cure, but the number one form of exercise that can actually greatly help to reduce the risk of incontinence.
Right. So everything we want to do on the show is all about helping improve the quality of life for our elders, and there's an awful lot for us to cover. So Rayne, what I'm going to say is we need to go to part 2, and because I'd love you to talk about our geriatric giants in next week's episode.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. So thank you for being with us this week, and we look forward to doing part 2 and hearing about the geriatric giants immediately afterwards.
Fantastic.
So everybody, I hope that you found that of interest, and I'm really looking forward to hearing even more about this. All of this is so relevant to you being able to take care of yourself, for you maybe as a younger family member concerned about your mom, your dad, your grandparents, on improving the quality of their life. So I will look forward to seeing you back next week for Active and Healthy with Gina. Thank you for joining me.